Stay consistent, do at least a little bit every day, and focus on input. Do this and you will learn Japanese in 2022. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe for more content related to the Japanese language and Japanese culture. The key to learning any language is to get a sufficient amount of input. As humans, we are already made to learn languages. While children seemingly have an easier time with this, the ability does not go away with age. Some people might think so, but that might have more to do with the way languages are taught in school than the disposition people have towards learning a new language. Getting a sufficient amount of input will allow you to notice patterns in the language and gradually build up a database of words and phrases that you understand and will be able to make use of yourself. This will happen even without obsessing over flashcards or memorizing grammar, as long as you get a lot of input. This means that you should make sure to include at least some reading and listening every day. The reason it's important to do this daily is that time flies fast. Unless you make a routine out of this, there will be times where you forget to do it due to being busy with other things or just being too tired. The more days you skip, the higher the likelihood that you will continue to do so. Before you know it, many weeks or even months could have passed. I've seen this happen in my own life with other things. For example, when trying to learn programming, I've had several long stretches of time when I've done nothing. As a result, I haven't improved at all. Since it's so important to get this done, you will be better off working on your Japanese first thing in the morning. This might mean getting up a bit earlier. The reason this works so well is that by doing this, you will have gotten some work done regardless of how you feel or whatever happens later in the day. Mornings are also usually free of interruptions, so you can focus on learning without anyone bothering you. Another bonus is that you are most likely fresh in the morning, provided that you get enough sleep, of course. This will be very helpful when learning and make it a lot easier than it would be if you were to only study right before bed, for example. To get the most out of a piece of content, you should find a text that has an audio version as well. That way you can read and listen to the same piece of content. This will make it much easier to internalize the language. Read the same text several times. Read it out loud as well. The more passes you make, the more you will notice. You might think that this sounds a bit boring, but it's actually quite enjoyable. It's deciphering a text and returning with a little more information with each pass. This is a bit like rewatching a movie you like. Think of how people have rewatched the original Star Wars trilogy over the years and extracted a ton of information. Instead of always seeking out new material, you can gain a lot from going through the same material over and over again until you get bored with it or you feel like you've extracted around 80% of what you can from it. Listening will of course also help you out here because it will allow you to get a lot more input than just reading will alone. The beauty of this simple approach is that phrases that you've read and heard over and over again will start to flow out of you when creating language yourself. This is great because it means that you're using Japanese the way Japanese people are, which will make your own language sound a lot more natural. If you get nothing else out of this video, then just remember this. Read Japanese every morning and listen to the same text you read throughout the day. You can of course do more, but commit to doing this every day in 2022 and your Japanese will improve a lot. You might even become fluent by the end of the year, depending on where you started out. Watch this video next to improve your pronunciation in Japanese. Got anything else out of this video? Comment below.
Never give up!